Hi guys, welcome back. This is fractions day 2. Yesterday we talked about equal and not equal. And yes, this is a candy cane for my pointer today. I didn't bring my pointer home. So this is a leftover candy cane from Christmas. They're still yummy though. All right, so fractions day 2. We learned about equal and not equal parts of a whole. So today we are going to learn what a fraction looks like, the names of the parts are, and how to use them. We're really going to work on half, because I feel like that's something that we know a lot about, right? If you're splitting something in half, we've heard that before, right? So let's go through here. I'm going to ask you how many equal parts this shape has. Don't let me trick you, because my students now, I like to try to trick you. I rarely do, because you guys are so smart, but I try. I try a lot. Okay? Ready? How many equal parts? Say it loud. 2, right? 1, 2. Good job. How many equal parts? Say it louder. I can't hear you. Good job. 4. How many equal parts? Did I trick you? Are these equal parts? No, I think I got you. Gotcha. So if I try to trick you, say, none, there's no equal parts here because they're not equal. Right? How many equal parts? 4, good. How many equal parts? I didn't get you that time. None. Good work. How many equal parts? 4. How many equal parts? How many equal parts? None. Very nice job. So the first thing in a fraction is figuring out, 1, if the parts are equal, and 2, how many equal parts there are. So there's a lot on here. Don't worry, we're going to go through it. So look at this circle right here. How many equal parts are there? Good job. So this circle has 2 equal parts. These 2 parts, so if you put those 2 together, it makes one whole. So say we had a pizza and we cut it in half. You have this half and you have this half. When you put them together, you have one whole pizza. But if you take them apart, you have a half here and a half here. So there's 2 equal parts. So there's a part here and a part here. You put them together and it makes one whole. Okay. So 2 parts equal one whole for a half. And this is what a half looks like. Have you seen that before? If you have, touch your nose. Oh, a lot of you have. Okay. You've seen numbers that look like that before. All right, so the bottom one is denominator. What letter does denominator start for? Start with D, D, D. This, a little trick that helps me remember? Denominator, down. I know it's the bottom one because it's down on the bottom. D, D, denominator, D, D, down. The denominator tells you how many equal parts in the whole. So how many equal parts were there? 2. So that's the denominator on the bottom. On the top is the numerator. The numerator kind of reminds me of number. It's the number or how many parts we're talking about. So if I have 1 part of the whole, it means I'm only talking about 1. So I have 1 out of the 2. I have 1 half. All right. So the bottom one is how many there are in all of it. And the top one, the numerator, is what we're talking about. Usually it's what's shaded. See, this one's colored in. We call it shaded. In fractions, it's a lot about what's shaded. So how many parts are shaded? 1. How many parts are there altogether? 2. Nice job. There is 1 part shaded. There are 2 equal parts. So 1/2 and 1/2 make 1 whole. All right, so what we're going to need to practice this, and we're going to be working with half today, is you need a piece of paper and some things to make a circle and a rectangle with. Those are the two shapes we are going to be dividing into equal parts. So I found a cup that I'm going to use to make the circle. And I found a couple different size rectangles. I have a box of Jell-O that I could use as a rectangle. And I found this teeny tiny pack of gum from my daughter. You might have blocks or toys. I just looked in my pantry, in my closet, and my cupboards, and I found these. All right, so you need something to make a circle and something to make a rectangle with. Those are the two things you're going to need. All right, make sure they're small enough so you can get at least 2 or 3 of them on a page. Right? I picked smaller ones. A plate would be way too big, unless you have a little doll plate or a little action figure plate. So something with a circle and a rectangle, small enough that you can put multiples of them on the page. All right, go get those and then come back and I will show you what we're going to do. Okay, see you in a sec. All right, did you find your stuff? Okay, I wanted to start by giving you an example of what we talked about with halves. Right, so I have 1 whole plate. If we move this over, we can see it's just like this, 1 whole plate, even with the line down the middle, right? If I cut it in 2 equal parts, right? Gumbo ears. If I cut it into 2 equal parts, I have 1 here and 1 here that make up 1 whole. So how many pieces are there all together? There's 2. If I drop one, or if I pull one out, how many's left? 1 out of 2, 1/2. So 1/2, because there's 1 out of the 2, 1 out of 2, we call it 1/2. 1/2 and 1/2, put them together, and we're back to 1 whole. So you could say 1/2, or sometimes people call them halves. So this is a half. 1/2, halves, 2 halves equal 1 whole. Okay, so I did some drawing already. Let's switch the camera around. And I drew 2 circles. Okay, I drew 2 circles already. So I'm going to draw one more, trace one more, go right around, right around. And the goal today is going to be, trace some rectangles now, is going to be making halves, right? Do the best you can to draw a line down the middle so you can have 2 equal halves, and we'll show you different ways it can be done. But this is what I want. Oops, I made it too big, so I'm going to use my little one. Look at how little this is. Ooh, it's squishy. So this is not going to be a perfect rectangle, but that's okay. I am doing the best I can. That's very close, isn't it? It's hard to see. Let me see if I can. Oh, look at that. I can see it so much better, even though it's darker. Okay, so now I want you to draw a line somewhere in here to make 2 equal parts. So first, just like the picture I have, I'm going to draw right down the middle. Now, because I am not perfect, and that's okay, I'm going to do the best I can to get them as equal as possible. So that's 1/2. Then what I want you to do is take a crayon, a marker, colored pencil, And I want you to color in 1/2. So I'm going to pick this half. It doesn't matter what color. And then I want you to write the fraction of what you colored in. How many parts you're going to draw. The first thing I do for fractions is draw my middle line. How many equal parts are there? 2. How many did I shade in? 1. So that's 1/2. All right, let me try this one. I'm going to try this way. Those look pretty equal. Yeah, I'm going to use a different color this time. I'm going to shade in this top one. How many equal parts are there? There's 2. How many did I shade in? 1. Very nice job. Now I want you to keep going, and I'm going to show you some on here because you can do the same thing, but you could also, you go corner to corner. These are also equal parts. So I essentially just cut my rectangle into 2 triangles, right? Super neat. So then I would color one in, shade it in. I'm not worrying too much about getting it perfect. So how many equal parts did I make? 2. How many did I shade in? 1. And I want you to do the same thing. So try to get at least 6 in. I would like you to cut with a crayon, marker, pencil, pen. Draw a line for half. That's what I'm going to call cutting it in half. Don't actually use scissors. Use something to write with. Write it in half. And then you're going to shade in 1 of those parts. And then I want you to write the fraction right next to it. Okay. It does not matter which direction they go in as long as there's 2 equal parts. Please do not divide these into more than 2. We're only working with halves today. Tomorrow we will divide more, but right now I want you to only work on breaking these into 2 equal sections. You're going to do that, and then you're going to shade it, and then you're going to write the fraction. I have 2 parts, and I shaded in 1. All right, so if you're going to take a picture of this when you're done, make sure you write math fractions day 2, or you can just write fractions day 2. Put your name on it, and then the date. Okay. What is today's date? Today is the 29th. Out being in school with you guys, I get confused. All right, so go ahead, work on this, try to get at least 6 between circles and rectangles. Take a picture of it and upload it to fractions day 2. Have a great day. Nice job working on these halves, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.